If you're one of the millions of people who take Ozempic, a prescription medication commonly used to manage diabetes, then you know that understanding what foods to eat and what foods to avoid can be tricky. And while it can seem overwhelming trying to navigate which foods are allowed and which ones aren't, fear not. I've got your back. I've got some expert tips in mind that will help you get on the right track. So today we'll dive deep into all things food related while talking about Ozempic to make sure that you have the best possible diet for managing your condition without sacrificing taste or time. First, though, I'm Mila, your diabestie. I am a diabetes patient advocate and an integrative nutrition diabetes health coach. I'm also a self-taught cook, and I live with latent autoimmune diabetes in adults, which is why I'm talking about this topic. I also take Ozempic, so I have some helpful tips and tools from my own experience that hopefully will help you out. Just so you know, Hangry Woman aims to take away the shame and the stigma that comes with the diabetes diagnosis. And I cover tools and topics like diabetes management, cooking, and self-care. So if you like those things, be sure to stick around because they're around here all the time. I also am the founder of an app called Glucose Guide, and I like to think of it as your diabetes personal assistant. So it's an app that connects you to community, helps you with self-care, mental health, and living your best life with diabetes. Plus, I have access to private coaching circles and group coaching circles. And this app is in the Google Play and the App Store. So you'll get daily content like recipes, affirmations, and diabetes news. Also, I'm a small independent channel. I fund and run this channel myself. I do everything, the research, the editing, all of the putting together of the resources. I also live with a chronic illness. So any interactions on my video helps me know that you want me to continue producing this type of content. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It is always so helpful to my channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to learn a few things. We're going to learn what Ozempic is and why you need to watch your foods when you're taking this medication, how Ozempic works in the body, foods that you should fill your plate with while you're on Ozempic, and foods that might aggravate symptoms while on Ozempic. And if your doctor has recently prescribed you Ozempic, it's important to be informed about what foods you should eat and what foods you should avoid while taking this medication. Ozempic is known generically as semaglutide, and it's a medication that is specifically designed for people with type 2 diabetes. It's a once weekly injectable drug that helps manage blood sugar levels by mimicking the actions of a hormone called GLP-1, which stands for glucagon-like peptide 1. This hormone plays a crucial role in regulating blood sugar levels, insulin production, and appetite, which are three things that you'll notice that Ozempic does. So we'll talk a little bit about what Ozempic does do. So as a GLP-1 receptor agonist, Ozempic binds to the same receptors that GLP-1 does, and it activates a series of cellular processes that ultimately help you regulate your blood sugar. So first, it stimulates the release of insulin from your pancreas when your blood sugar levels are high. And as we know, insulin is a vital hormone that helps move sugar from your bloodstream into your cells where it can be used for energy. Second, Ozempic reduces the amount of glucose produced by your liver. When you have diabetes, your liver may produce too much glucose, and that sometimes makes it harder to bring down your blood sugar levels and maintain healthy levels. By decreasing the glucose production in the liver, Ozempic helps keep your body and your blood sugars in check. And lastly, the one that I think everybody knows is that Ozempic has a direct effect on your appetite. The way that it does this is it slows down the movement of food through your stomach, which can help you feel fuller for longer. This is beneficial when managing your weight, which is often an important aspect of diabetes management. The primary benefit of Ozempic is the ability to help you maintain healthy blood sugar levels, which can reduce the risk of diabetes-related complications like heart disease, kidney damage, and vision problems. Additionally, many people find that the once weekly injection is more convenient than daily injections or multiple oral medications. Your healthcare provider will provide specific guidance with what foods to eat and avoid, but it's generally recommended to choose nutrient dense whole foods and limit your intake of added sugars, processed foods, and high fat meals. So, we're going to talk about what these nutrient dense foods are. So, foods that fit. Lean protein is one food immediately that is so helpful. And when it comes to incorporating lean protein into your diet, there are plenty of options to choose from that not only provide a boost of nutrition, but also taste great. So some examples of lean protein, I have a couple here on the screen, but some other examples include poultry like chicken and turkey, fish like salmon and tuna, legumes like lentils and chickpeas, tofu and tempeh. And lean cuts of beef and pork like sirloin and tenderloin can also be a great source of lean protein. These sources are low in fat and calories, but they're high in protein, which makes them a great choice for anyone looking to maintain or build muscle, or anyone simply looking for ways to eat healthier. Adding these foods to your meals and snacks can keep you fuller for longer and even aid in weight loss. Whole grains or complex carbs are an essential part of a healthy and balanced diet. So, unlike refined grains that have been stripped of essential nutrients during the processing, whole grains contain all of the parts of the grain: the bran, the germ, and the endosperm. This makes them extremely nutritious, full of vitamins, and most importantly, full of dietary fiber. Dietary fiber is always helpful in slowing down your glucose spikes. And you'll hear people mention a lot that pairing fat, fiber, and protein is one way to slow down a carbohydrate glucose spike and also create a balanced meal. So you'll notice that when you experiment a little. Some examples of whole grains for you: whole grain oats are a versatile and hearty grain. They're perfect for breakfast or as a snack. You can enjoy them as a warm bowl of oatmeal topped with some fresh berries, nuts, and a drizzle of honey. Or get creative, make homemade granola bars or overnight oats. Brown rice is great. You can swap out brown rice for white rice. It's slightly different. You can still enjoy white rice as well. If you know anything about resistant starch, one trick about white rice is that you heat it and cook it to its temperature till it's done well. Then you chill it. And then when you heat it up again, that process releases resistant starch, which helps to balance your blood sugars even more. So you can use rice as a base for stir fries, grain bowls, alongside your favorite protein and veggies, and that will give you a filling and balanced meal. Quinoa is also a protein-packed pseudo grain that's gluten-free and a great addition to salads, pilafs, and even a replacement for traditional pasta sometimes, which it's hit or miss. It depends on the brand you get. But try mixing cooked quinoa with sauteed vegetables and your favorite dressing for a satisfying lunch. It's a great way to incorporate some plant-based protein into your diet. Whole grain bread, if you're going to eat bread, choose bread made from whole grains like whole wheat, spelt, or rye for a more nutritious sandwich base. You can top with lean proteins, healthy fats, and plenty of veggies for a nourishing and satisfying sandwich. Then barley has chewy texture and a nutty flavor. It's a great addition to soups and stews. You can also use it for salad like you would use quinoa. You could try making a barley risotto or adding it into a vegetable soup for some extra heartiness. And so there are just lots and lots of options. There's millet, there's teff. Consuming whole grains can reduce your risk of heart disease as well. So it's important to incorporate these low-fat whole grains into your diet, and they'll keep your body feeling fuller for longer after meals, and that also helps with maintaining a healthy weight. Then we have healthy fats, and healthy fats help with absorption of the vitamins and minerals in your body, as well as satiety. So, what that means is that you are getting full from healthy fats. I think healthy fats are some of my favorite foods. So, that includes plant-based oils like olive oil or avocado oil, fruits like avocado. Lots and lots of healthy fats exist out there. And so it's really up to you to take the time to find the ones that work for you, the ones that you like, and you're sure to reduce the amount of saturated fat that you're including in your diet and swapping those with healthier fats that are going to be better for your heart and good for just your overall health and well-being. And lastly, fruits and vegetables are so important. So, eating fresh, seasonal fruits and vegetables is not only good for you, but it's good for the planet. And it can be tempting to reach for the convenience of prepackaged or out of season produce, but take the extra time to seek out fresh produce if you can. The option is well worth the effort. And fresh fruits and vegetables offer more nutrients when they're at their peak, but they're also tastier and more satisfying. So if you can embrace the seasons and incorporate local produce, you'll be supporting local farmers. You'll also be reducing the carbon footprint that comes from importing produce from afar. And if you don't have access to fresh produce, that is absolutely okay. Canned produce can work. Just be sure to rinse your produce before cooking it, just so that you can enjoy it and ensure that you get any additional syrups or juices or salt that it's packaged in off of your fruit, and you can enjoy the fruit itself. But canned, prepackaged, those are fine. But if you can and you do have access to fresh fruits, it's always helpful to reach for those first. Next time you're grocery shopping or planning your meals, think about the benefits of seasonal produce. Now we're on to foods that don't help. And we kind of know this, right? Like, this is common sense for the most part, but we're still going to go through them. So we'll start with refined carbohydrates. And refined carbs have become a staple in many diets, especially in the US. But these foods, as we know, can have negative effects on our health. And so fortunately, there are plenty of alternatives to refined carbs that are just as satisfying. Things like whole wheat bread, quinoa, and brown rice that we talked about earlier are a few examples of healthy options. Additionally, cutting the portions of these foods or pairing them with fat, fiber, and protein can also assist with blood sugar spikes. So remember, it's not about depriving yourself of the foods you love. It's about finding healthier opportunities and also finding foods that you enjoy just as much. And I'll talk about this a little bit in the next slide, but we're going to come back to this. Fried food also might be delicious, but unfortunately, it's not the healthiest option out there. So French fries are a prime example that I can think of. They're loaded with salt, usually served with a sauce, and are a calorie and fat explosion. And they taste delicious, right? Like, we can't help that fat makes food taste good and that French fries taste good. Really, though, what we need to be thinking about is moderation, as well as how they're cooked. Maybe instead of eating a deep fried French fry, you try air frying for a change. So switch up the method of cooking a little bit, switch up the oils that you're cooking in. And don't be afraid to still fit these things in if you can. Just be more mindful about how they fit and how you can make them work better for your own blood sugar. But fried appetizers like mozzarella sticks and onion rings have a high calorie count. So it's okay to indulge in them. Like I said before, it's just important to be mindful of the health risks associated with consuming food with a lot of saturated fat, especially when you have diabetes, given that people with diabetes are at a higher risk for cardiovascular disease and cardiovascular events. Then sugary drinks. And this one's hard because when it comes to managing diabetes, watching what you drink is just as important as watching what you eat, and sometimes more so. And sugary drinks can quickly spike your glucose levels, which can be particularly concerning when you're taking a medication like Ozempic to regulate your blood sugars. So by incorporating healthier drink options into your routine, like water or unsweetened tea or sparkling water, and limiting your intake of sugary beverages, you can support your efforts to manage diabetes with greater success. And you're also not drinking your calories or drinking your carbs. And that sort of makes your life a little easier because it is really difficult to come down from a spike that is pure glucose. And then I am going to say this in every food video that I talk about, but I do believe that all foods fit, all of them. And so knowing carb content of different food, knowing how different foods affect your blood sugar, and just having an awareness over all of what you're eating can help you enjoy a wider variety of meals and snacks while still maintaining and managing your diabetes. So, including all types of food in your diet allows for a more balanced life, and it'll better meet your needs and your dietary preferences. So, I maintain that all foods fit. You just have to figure out how they fit. I am never going to be the person that tells you, I don't ever eat a burger or I don't ever eat fries. I know the implications of eating those foods, but I also know how to best work them in and the things that I should be thinking about when I do want to include those foods. So I'm curious to you how you feel and how these foods sound to you. If you take one action away from today's video, it's that you might try adding more plant-based food sources and lean protein to your diet when you're taking medications like Ozempic. It just helps with the overall side effects and allows the medication to do the work that it needs to do, which is to get your blood sugars balanced. Typically, if you're taking it for that purpose. Some people take it for different purposes, but we're talking about diabetes here. So I'm curious, and if you'd like to leave it in the comments, how do you pair some of the blood sugar balancing foods that we talked about within your daily eating pattern? You can share recipes that you love. You can share different ways that you pair things or different things that you eat that tend to work for you. I'd love to see that in the comments section and love to have a deeper conversation about it with you. I also want to remind you, as I do in every video, that you're not alone on this path. And so in Glucose Guide, we're cultivating a community of individuals who support and uplift one another. And together in this community, we'll navigate the changes, the challenges, the celebrations, the victories. And it's a positive and inclusive space where everyone's voice is heard and everyone's voice is welcome. So I welcome you to join for live events, for accountability check-ins, for our monthly wellness challenges, for evidence-based articles, for diabetes-friendly recipes. There is so much there for you, and the app is free to download. So I'm hoping that you come and join me in Glucose Guide. I also have a few resources on Ozempic, both on my YouTube channel and on my website. You can find the entire blog post that references this video down in the description below. You'll also be able to find the entire transcript of this video in that blog. I also have some videos on my channel about how to take Ozempic if you are new to the medication, as well as what has happened on my journey taking Ozempic. I started it in 2020, and it's been a very interesting roller coaster for me. I love sharing about it, and I love just giving you all insight about how things are going and what's happening with me in my use of Ozempic. I look forward to sharing the next videos with you, seeing your progress, hoping that you join Glucose Guide and you give me the honor of letting me be your diabetes coach. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, y'all.